How did the concept of corporate social responsibility evolve? Let us learn about the origins of sustainable corporate development and explore some of the pioneers of this concept. During the Industrial Revolution, William Lever, founder of Lever Brothers, now known as the Anglo-Dutch company Unilever, started a business concept that was conscious of customer well-being and employee welfare. He started a soap company, believing that cleanliness and hygiene should be affordable for all. His idea to create a mass-produced bar soap helped to transform the lives of the lower classes in the 1890s. He named his soap Sunlight. He used his wealth to build Port Sunlight, a village for Lever Brothers employees. He started pension schemes, unemployment and sickness benefits, work canteens, and the concept of the 8-hour workday. At the end of the 19th century in India, Jamsetji Tata, founder of the global $100 billion Tata Group business empire, was influenced by his visits to England. He established the J.N. Tata Endowment in 1892 that enabled Indian students, regardless of caste or creed, to pursue higher studies in England. The World Wars also influenced how corporations perceived the nature of their business and the reasons behind their products and services. During the era of World War I, global free trade boomed and corporate power grew. The dominant business ideology was that the best way of serving the public good was to fulfill private self-interest. The Great Depression was a precursor to World War II, as many countries suffered economic crisis. In the U.S., the stock market crashed, and the U.S. government raised tariffs to up to 60%. President Franklin Delano Roosevelt intervened by enacting the New Deal of 1934 and raised employee welfare. Companies, therefore, were prompted to give importance to the labor force. A significant event during World War II happened when Johnson & Johnson published its Credo in 1943, in which it affirmed its stewardship role within society. The Credo stated that its primary stakeholders were its customers, employees, and the communities in which it operated. It was a radical view at that time. After the war, welfare safety nets were put in place, and in the United Kingdom, major industries such as coal, railways, steel, gas, and power generation companies were nationalized by the post-war Labour government. In the 1950s, the world economy was rejuvenated. However, the eventual post-war prosperity brought with it its new social concerns. In the 1950s, making pollution was a political issue, and it resulted in the passing of the U.S. Air Pollution Control Act of 1955, and in the United Kingdom, the Clean Air Act of 1956. The ISO, which was founded in 1926, was reorganized in 1946. By 1996, it established the standard for environmental management, the ISO 14001. The 1970s saw the rise of non-government environmental groups, notably Greenpeace. In 1979, the chair of Tata Iron and Steel Company asked its audit committee to report on whether it has fulfilled its moral and social obligations, one of the first examples of social auditing. In the following decades, from the 1970s to the 1980s, horrendous examples of corporate wrongdoings took place, including the buried chemical waste at Love Canal in New York in 1978, the 1984 Bhopal lethal gas leak in India, the Chernobyl nuclear disaster in 1986, and the Exxon Valdez oil spill in 1989. These disasters further underscored the connection of corporate social responsibility with public concerns. A bright spot in 1986 was the founding of the Coup Round Table, an international organization of senior business executives aiming to promote ethical business practice. It was founded by Fritz Phillips, the president of Philips Corporation. There were several controversies in the 1990s, including the uncovering of the appalling conditions in factories manufacturing Nike garments, and the campaign against Cadbury, which was accused by the British press of buying slave-farmed cocoa beans from West Africa. The 1990s also saw much greater international cooperation between business and society to address sustainable development challenges. Frameworks were established for understanding the relationship between economic, social, and environmental health came to prominence, notably John Elkington's concept of the triple bottom line and natural capitalism. Presently, collaboration between business and civil society in the shape of an ever-widening number of NGOs has grown. International roundtables have been established, like roundtables for tobacco and coffee production. Leading companies now recognize that sustainability is strategically critical to their business. Many companies are testing innovative new approaches in recognition of the fact that success is going to look very different in a low-carbon, resource-constrained world. Recent examples includes Unilever's Sustainable Living Plan, based on doubling the size of the company while reducing environmental footprint in half. Puma's work on an environmental profit and loss account, Kingfisher's net positive strategy, and an equally impressive range of initiatives from U.S. companies like Nike, GE, Walmart, and Tesla. These initiatives are part of the reason why it's possible to be reasonably optimistic about prospects for a more sustainable world in the future.